And welcome to another episode of the Blue Review. Hope y'all can hear me. My bad. I think I got some whatever's going on outside my house. It looks like some yard work. Shout out to the yard guys. Now, I just want to say first off, that happened. Uh, so this might be a little awkward episode because, yeah, that was ugly. That's all I can say. Let's just go ahead and get this over with. The Blue Review is presented by LAX at Los Angeles International Airport. You can find changes arriving daily, reducing traffic, saving guests time, and transforming the travel experience. Find more information out at flylax.com/transforming LAX. All right, so what is up, chat? Everybody, I see you in there. Ruben Flores, Stoned, great to see you. Carlos Sanchez, Decoy, I can shout out everybody. Let's just get straight into this. I want to get into Yamamoto first and foremost. Obviously, that is what is on everyone's mind. One inning. We see one inning of action. First off, what are our thoughts? I can kind of get into how that inning went. Single, hit by pitch, triple, walk, sac fly, wild pitch, strikeout, double, single, strikeout. I think Alden Gonzalez of ESPN had a great post about in one inning, he was charged with 23% more of his earned runs than he allowed in all 171 innings of Japan in his Japan League last year. So, yeah, not good. I see the chat talking about the bullpen. 100% agree. I think that when you see that many walks, you're never going to win. You're never going to win in a professional game when you walk that many players. I want to answer a lot of questions today. That's what I want to do. I want to answer a lot of questions. First off, did anybody stay up for this game? I for sure did not. I thought about it, but I was actually out diving for some lobster last night out of Crystal Cove. It was the last night of lobster season, so I had to go out and get my wetsuit on and dive for some lobster. Came out empty-handed though. The waves started to get a little too big, so that was sketch. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, guys. Ohtani. Okay, Ohtani and Ipe. We'll get into that sometime later in this episode. I think that this Dodgers season is starting off maybe a little chaotic, and that's something that the Dodgers don't typically like to do. This is a very well-run organization, so we'll let the dust settle a little bit on that, but we'll definitely talk about it a bit. See Decoy in the chat saying this is the worst start for a Dodger rookie pitcher. This is going to take some time to get used to coming over from Japan. Yamamoto, while he does have the stuff, it appears that the adjustment period is going to take longer than we hoped for, and it's going to take longer than $325 million that we expect to get out of him, performance-wise. So I don't even really know what to say on that end. It's like, yes, he put up one terrible inning, but the whole game was bad. It was just bad from the start. I think Marcus was mentioning yesterday that we can, I'm not trying to spin it in any way, but we can chalk it up to maybe some uncomfortableness with travel and just in general, the team looking a little lackadaisical. And then maybe the news last night kind of shook some players and they didn't come game ready. No excuse for what happened yesterday. The guys just absolutely wrecked him. But like Ruben Flores says, the bats looked good. Mookie especially tried to carry his way. 6 RBIs. Shout out to Mookie for doing that. But I think we just have to take a deep dive into the bullpen. When it was 12-11, you go with JP and Manny hits that absolute banger of a home run. I think somebody in the chat made a comment earlier. Are we playing in the Korea League or are we playing in Coors Field? Some of those balls were carrying. I agree. That was absolutely crazy. But yeah, I'm along the same thought lines of most of you in the chat. Not worried too much. I know that we saw 15 runs get put up, and that seems alarming. But it's game 2. we got to pump the brakes a little bit. I think the biggest story mainly is the Otani and his interpreter Ipe. In terms of the gameplay and what happened, everybody lays an egg every now and then, and the fact that you laid an egg in Korea is perfectly fine, perfectly normal. Um, I understand being concerned with Yoshinobu, but I think you just need to give it some time. If we're seeing by his fifth start that these things are still continuing, then yes, red alarm, raise the alarms. Something is going on because that is a lot of money, you know, and he's supposed to be our number two guy. So, well, eventually he's supposed to be our number one guy. Glasnow made a good case in game one, a few walks here and there, but still, Yoshi is supposed to be our number one guy moving forward. And as Casper says, he's been laying eggs since the first spring training game. Yes, let's kind of let this go for another 2-3 games, see what we can get out of him, see how the Dodgers kind of attack this in terms of changing things around. But yeah, 15-11. We all know how that went yesterday. No Greg Bergman, if you guys haven't noticed today. Tons of events for ESPN LA going on today. It's Madness Week here. So today they will be at the Islands in Manhattan Village. You can come and join us if you got nothing going on. I'll be out there, I believe, around 3 with our great friend Carlos Saisu doing some social content. But the shows will be there all day, starting at 10 with Travis and Sliwa, all the way up into Sedano and Cap. That's Sedano land out there. So out in the South Bay area. So come on by, say what's up to the team. And, we can talk about Dodgers while we're out there. So let's see what else we can get into outside of Yoshinobu. We kind of talked about his one inning. Any talk about if he's tipping pitches? It hasn't really been brought up and discussed again since that first spring training game. But of course, to see that kind of inning that he had is not exciting. Okay, but it looks like the chat kind of just wants to get into this Otani stuff. So let's do it. Let's just do it. You know what? It's an effort Thursday for me. I don't think we'll stay on too long since I'm solo, and I got to get out eventually to the Madness Week. Let's read some stories. Let's read some storylines. Get into this here. So obviously, we know that Ippei Mizuhara, longtime friend and interpreter of Shohei, has been accused of massive theft. First off, my initial thoughts, I was just kind of heartbroken because to me, as somebody who lived in the Orange County for the last 6-7 years and I was following the Angels for a while, Ippei was sort of like a cultural icon, I guess you can say. He and Otani and their friendship kind of carried Angels content for so long because obviously it's just doom and gloom around the Angels for all season outside of Otani news. So Ippei used to be that guy who would just kind of put a little smile on your face just because he was goofy and he would throw on like the samurai hat, the Kabuto hat, and do the chop when Otani would get home runs. And it would just be fun to watch a budding friendship like brothers. So I think my initial thoughts was just sad that a longtime friend could create such a the number is huge. The alleged number at 4.5 million is huge. And to think that, a friend can create such a storyline is pretty painful. So obviously, initially, a spokesman for Otani told ESPN that Otani had transferred the funds to cover Mizuhara's gambling debt. The spokesman presented Mizuhara to ESPN. I think it was for like a 90-minute interview, but then ESPN didn't end up publishing that. And in the responding media inquiries, Otani's attorneys then said that Shohei's been the victim of massive theft. So seemed like there was going to be something else initially happening, and then it didn't. The one thing I'm worried about is that out here in California, I'm going to have to do more research as this kind of develops, but what if it gets a little more messy? The fact that Otani may have knew about it and offered to cover it up, maybe transfer funds to Mizuhara, if it's still involved clearing a debt of the illegal, gambling site with the illegal bookie, I'm not quite sure. I'm not a huge gambler, but I'm pretty sure there's rules against that as well. And I think we remember it was, um, I'm sorry, Puig. I believe Puig fell into some trouble as well at one point. And it's like, how did they attack that? Probably differently than they're going to attack this because Shohei Ohtani's the 700 million man. As long as he didn't bet on baseball, yeah, I see that dead. He should be all good. Um, Maybe he'll be hit with some fines or something. I don't know the California law off the top of my head, but I think it's just crazy to see that the Dodgers season is starting this way. This is by no means the start that anybody wanted to see. I'm with you guys. I see Brian in the chat. Otani's free. He's innocent. Of course, he didn't do anything. And knowing him as like just a guy and how he is just based off of following him, yeah, he's not the type of guy to do that kind of thing. But still, it was just sneaky on Mizuhara's behalf. It seemed like he opened up to his friend, and that's a big thing that's important. That can be tough to do, but it's just it's cool. Ruben Flores says Ipe was betting on who would win the dunk contest. No big deal. Whether that's true or not, I haven't had a chance to look. That would be funny. Um, but it's something to talk about, and it's going to be here for a while. It's the biggest story in baseball right now. Ipe, Mizuhara, and Otani. We'll see what happens from here. But moving forward, so the Dodgers will be coming back home, and up next they have the Freeway Series. We've mentioned this over and over on the Blue Review that it's just so upsetting that they have to go from Korea back into a Freeway Series, and then the regular season starts after that. Little disappointing, but hey, they're coming back 1-1. I know some people were excited. I think it was Mace, the road to 162-0. But no need to panic. Outside of the crazy news and the bullpen struggling a little bit, the bats looked amazing. So you're not going to allow 15 runs every game. I get you're not going to put up 11 runs, but just it's good to see that Mookie went 4 for 5. Will Smith had a great game, 4 for 6. Lux, we're still going to have to talk about that a little bit as we come back to California, batting 200 on the series, but he did score a couple runs today. I think the main thing obviously will be the bullpen looking into this. 2 walks from Yarbrough, Vesia. I think he had a walk as well. Everybody who came up basically had a walk between Hurt, Vesia, Yarbrough, and JP. And obviously JP allowed that massive home run. I guess when the Padres are on, they're on. I think Tyler Wade was 2 for 3, which is like, that's a rare sight. I don't really know, what much else to get into. I think that it's just something that we have to keep an eye on is Yoshi. I'm gonna end up cutting this one a little short just so that I can get to Islands, but I see you, Casper, in the chat. It's not an isolated situation. Yoshi's been getting lit up. It's true, but we're just gonna have to let the guy figure out baseball out here in the States. I 325 million. Every time it comes up, it's tough. It's tough to hear, especially after seeing him getting rocked. But he's got crazy stuff in the Dodgers front office, chosen for a reason. I think you bring up a good point, saying none of the Padre hitters being intimidated by his stuff. I mean, the first time seeing him, maybe the mentality going in was just like, hey, this is this guy's first time pitching the MLB, just rocking, and maybe the mentality kind of gave them a little boost. But he's got stuff that can be scary. He really does. He's got some of the nastiest pitches and movement. But there you have it. I see Ruben in the floor saying he's a rookie doing rookie things. We may think of it as he's already a bona fide star because of what he did in Japan, but no, he's he is a rookie out here. So hopefully the guys like Kershaw and some of the more experienced vets, even Otani, can talk to him, and we don't see him get in his head too much. Similarly to Lux. So we will get more into Yoshi as we move forward into this season and as the Blue Review moves forward. I just appreciate you guys for hanging out with me while I'm here on my own. We want to make sure that we're here every day, 9:30, 9:55, no matter what, rain, shine, doesn't matter. Dodgers win, Dodgers lose, we'll be here just so you guys can have a platform to react. We appreciate you. Greg Bergman probably won't be back tomorrow. I believe we have another live event at the Pizza Hut in Anaheim. So I'll leave it at this. The Dodgers have some stuff to talk about and look into. Yoshi, the biggest thing. Otani, we're not going to be worried about. He will handle things and he'll figure things out. Mookie's looking great. Freddie might need to get some things going, but Lux is a topic as well. Just look forward to all that. That's the type of things we'll be talking about. Appreciate you. This has been the Blue Review. I'm Parker Bell, and thank you for being in the chat. Producer DeAndre back there, appreciate you. And as always, we'll see you when we see you, 9:30 to 9:55. Thank you very much. Catch you next time.